attention to House Bill 2165, the antique car bill. Adam, could you give us a briefing on that?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 2165 allows vehicles that are more than 65 years of age to qualify as an antique vehicle for registration purposes. The bill also removes street rod vehicles as a class of vehicles. Section 1 would modify the definition of antique for the purposes of these antique vehicle registration. Current law provides that antique means any vehicle more than 35 years of age, propelled by a motor, and the definition would be changed so that these vehicles would qualify regardless of the age or type of components or equipment installed on the vehicle. Then section 2 through 4 of the bill would remove the classification and reference to street rod vehicles, as this class of vehicles would no longer exist. And with that, I'd be happy to stand for any questions.
Any questions for Adam? See none. Thank you, Adam. Senator Hawk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think I have an amendment. I had talked with Representative Delpergang, and he had mentioned, yes, if you could pass that out. He had mentioned in his testimony that the committee had actually taken the street rod out and didn't realize what the unintended consequences of that, and he asked if we could get the bill back into its original format. And I did check with the reviser and then asked him to double check with the reviser to make sure that our amendment would get that back to the way it was, and I am hopeful that that is the case. So what you have in front of you is putting the street rod designation back into the bill as it was. Well, I'll if it's appropriate, I'll move it, and it's great to have a second.
Moved by Senator Hawk, seconded by Senator Clays. Committee, further discussion on the amendment? Senator Pittman.
I'd spoken to the House Transportation Committee Chairman yesterday, and he seems to be in full agreement with this as well. So I certainly think we should bring these street rods back in, just like our constituents have asked us to do.
Yeah, I think we heard testimony that there's actually more 32 Fords out there right now than there was actually originally manufactured, and you can buy the parts for these, the frame, every part that makes to build one, and also it doesn't hurt that there's a little more fee on the street rod, so it helps out the highway fund in that format. Senator Hawk.
I might mention, and I know it's not in this amendment, but when I visited with Leo, he said that they thought they might certainly be up for increasing that fee slightly. I think he mentioned $3. I think it's $17. That might be good work for next year to think about that. I don't want to mess this amendment up at this time.
Thank you. Committee, what's your pleasure on this? We have a motion, a second. Is there any further discussion? See none. All those in favor of adopting the amendment say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Amendment is adopted. We're back on the bill. Committee, what's your wishes on the bill? Senator Hawk.
I move that we pass House Bill 2165 out favorably for passage as amended.
Seconded by Senator Clays. Moved by Senator Hawk, seconded by Senator Clays. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? The bill's on its way to the floor. Committee, I'd like to turn our attention to the get my numbers straight here. 2166, the license plate bill. Adam, could you give us a description on this one?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 2166 provides for new distinctive license plates and changes the requirements for the protection of distinctive plates. Following 3 plates would be created, subject to the set requirement amounts that would be under Section 10 of this bill, kind of the current requirements that will be amended. It'd be the Braden's Hope for Childhood Cancer, the Proud Educator, and the Alpha Kappa Alpha plates. Additionally, the following military plates would be created for current members or individuals honorably discharged from the branch of the U.S. Army, the U.S. Navy, the U.S. Marine Corps, U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Coast Guard, and the U.S. Space Force. Additionally, retired members could request the Division of Vehicles to print the plate, print on the plate that the individual is a retired member. Then lastly, the current requirements for distinctive plates would be, essentially the thresholds would be lowered. Initial issuance would go down to 250 plates from 500. The cost would go down from the current $20,000 to $5,000. That would be for the sponsored organization plates, education plates, and the Choose Life and then Gotta We Trust plates would go down to an issuance of 100 plates. And additionally, the educational plates, the annual renewal would go down from the 500, would also be decreased to now 100 and a 50-year 50 plate 2-year renewal. And with that, I'd be happy to stand for any questions.
Adam, did I hear you correctly that the Choose Life and the In God We Trust also drop down to those minimums?
That's correct.
Thank you. Committee, what's your pleasure on 2166? Senator Clays.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have an amendment. I will pass that out. By way of explanation, this is pretty simple. It adds the Gadsden flag license plate with the proceeds benefiting the Kansas State Rifle Association to the bill.
Are there any questions for, seconded by Senator Pyle? Any questions for Senator Clays? Senator Hawk?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I assume those same criteria, the 20,000 going down to the 5,000 applies to this also. Is that true? Any new distinctive license plates? Just to clarify.
Can you say that again?
I think the requirement was 20,000 originally, and then now we're down to 5,000. Just the new criteria that Adam mentioned in terms of distinctive license plates. And
Yeah, there's no exemption from that in here.
okay, so it would be the same as the other plates that we
Correct.
Just wanted to make sure that was the case. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any further discussion on the amendment? Senator Pittman?
I'm sorry, I missed, where does the money go to?
The Kansas State Rifle Association.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Senator Hawk?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We had a hearing last week on Senate Bill 278, which was just essentially asking for reporting, and I wondered if we could amend that into this bill.
I would second that motion if that's a motion.
It is. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 278.
The bill number was 278. It's generated from discussion that we've had in this committee for over the last 3 years. What it does is it puts a reporting requirement on the people that have royalty plates to give a report to both transportation committees of the House and in the Senate of what monies they spend or how much they receive and where they spend them. It's fairly broad, you know, so like if they say it goes to scholarships or whatever, but it just gets some accountability for some of the royalty dollars. Senator Powell?
Yeah, can you just explain how far back this will go on? This is going to catch all license plates?
Yes, that's the intent. So if you have a distinctive license plate and it's active and you're collecting funds, you would report.
Senator Powell?
And Mr. Chairman, how would you make them aware of this new change in the law? I'm just curious.
It would be in the statute book.
I understand that.
I'm sure revenue, when they send out the,
Is revenue going to let them know, inform them?
well, one would hope.
You're late.
There's not a lot of penalty in this bill either. Senator Pittman?
Mr. Chair, I had my reservations when we first brought this up, just in terms of the execution of this, because I thought it might be an extra burden, but upon reflection, I think that it's not a bad idea to require these distinctive plates that have certain funds going into, just in the future, not having any kind of retroactivity, come back and give some kind of a report about where the money's going, just so that we can, as a transportation committee, be a little bit confident that the money's going to the places that they're saying it's going to, and that it's going to some purpose that they claim is a good purpose. So I'm in support of this amendment.
In looking at this bill, I do know that it's just the royalty amounts. It's not the extra 40. These people buy these special plates, have to pay that extra $40 fee, which some of that goes to the highway fund. So I think it's good just to keep it on the royalty portion to. Committee, further comments or questions on the amendment? Adam, you got what we're doing? Inserting the contents of 21 or 278?
Sorry, I was slow with my mute button. Yes, I understand what's going on.
Thank you, sir. Further questions? Senator Pyle.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'm just looking over the packet. We didn't have any testimony on this bill, did we?
No, this basically was drafted by Senator Hawk, and it's a bill that's came about from discussion on the committee for the last 3 years. We just discussed it on Friday. It's kind of an internal committee bill. It's a policy piece. Revenue did not weigh in on it. There was no opponents. There was no proponents except for members of the committee that did not submit testimony. So that's odd, but it's been around for about 3 years. We've been discussing a way to do this, and Senator Hawk brought this forward as a bill. We may be back next year tweaking it if we need to. Further discussion? Senator Cluse, sorry about that, missed you.
What is the penalty?
There's no penalty right now in this bill. That's my understanding, Adam, correct? When I read it, there was no penalty. It's just asking them to do a report.
That's correct. There is no, at this point, there's no penalty, as you stated.
Further discussion? Further amendments? We're on the amendment. I guess we better pass this amendment first. All those in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? The amendment is adopted. Committee, what's your pleasure on 2166? Senator Tyson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have the amendment with me, but last year this committee put an amendment on a similar bill that would restrict the use of the custom plates. I would not want to hold up the bill, but I would ask that the chairman entertain that motion on the floor when we work this bill.
I'd be willing to, any senator can bring an amendment. We'll take a look at it. If it's one we put on last year,
We did, and we lost the bill because of COVID, the shutdown.
okay. Committee, what's your pleasure on the bill? Senator Clays.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the committee recommend House Bill 2166 favorably as amended.
Seconded by Senator Bowers or Pyle, one of the two. Bowers. Committee, what's your pleasure on the bill? We just pass that motion to pass it out. I'm so off. I'm looking at my notes here. No further discussion. All those in favor of moving this bill out favorable for passage as amended, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Committee, it is my intention tomorrow to work 2167. I had forgot to check with Adam and get an amendment on the farm exemption on the dump truck bill. And I do know that this is pretty similar to last year, so we'll try and work that tomorrow. Is there any further business to come before the committee? With that, we are adjourned. Oh, hold on. Yes, you may.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I have a shadow today, and Senator Pittman, I will share her with you if you would like to have her sometime today, because she is a Leavenworth High School senior. Her name is Samantha Cosmos. She had emailed and asked if she could have the opportunity to shadow a legislator, and I answered her. So I am very happy to have Samantha with me today, but she will be happy to meet any of you, and especially Leavenworth also. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
With that, Senator Pittman.
I was just wondering if Senator Tyson could just brief us 20 seconds on what that potential amendment is so that we're informed, as a transportation committee, know kind of what's happening.
Absolutely. I was trying to find the amendment online. Adam may remember it, but last year we had the Department of Revenue, and it was presented to the committee how the custom tags, the background for the custom tags is decided. And it has become a political tool for some, and we would like to see it less political and more representative of the entire Kansas, not just a small portion of Kansas. So it's changing the process on how the background for the custom tags are decided.
The personalized tag, the general personalized tag, if you go right now and you want to tag with your name on it, it's not one of the other specialty plates. You get one that says it has pictures of some windmills and powering the future on it.
Mr. Chairman, if it had windmills, I'd be okay with it.
As wind turbines.
Thank you.
Stand corrected. There's one on the back of my vehicle down in the parking garage if you want to look at it. With that, we are now adjourned. Thank you.